everyone, this is Ellington, and here we are coming at you with another battle replay. This one, we've got a 3 versus 3 on the settlement of Tuliferdum. So as you can see, we're looking straight at the defenders right now. We've got a combination of Carthage being commanded by Mexi. He's got a pretty good combination of like Libyan infantry. I think a ton of it Libyan infantry. That looks like 6 Libyan infantry in the front here. 3 Cretan archers on the hill. He's got 2 of the one Carthaginian cav and 1 mercenary Celtic light horse. Back here he's got 2 African pikes. Sacred Band. It's a good unit. Mercenary noble fighters. Iberian swords and another mercenary noble fighter. I am, by the way, using the Ancient Empires reskin mod. So just for this video, I like to switch it up every once in a while, bring out some cool, different, looks to the units. I mean, look at that Sacred Band. They look awesome. But right next to him, we have got Galatian. Galatia's being commanded by Ariovistus. And we've got a bunch of Levy Freemen back here. 4 units of Levy Freemen. Celtic Slingers, 3 Syrian Archers, some Galatian Legionaries, 2 Noble Horse, interesting. And then a lot more Galatian Legionaries on the front. Then finally, we've got Pontus here, which is being commanded by King Green. Now, he's got a ton of Pontic swords back here, 2 Bronze Shield pikes, more Pontic swords, hoplites. And then I think, yep, all 4 Eastern archers, which are pretty good archer. Pretty decent. Now, attacking this settlement, we'll start over here with Seleucid, and Seleucid is being commanded by Alexander. Now, he has got quite a bit of thorax sword on these siege equipment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the siege equipment. 2 more back here, so that's 10 units of thorax swords. Got 3 units of silver shield swordsmen, and then he brought Persian light archers, which is actually very interesting. You know, Seleucid gets the Syrian archers, and they can bring all 4 of them. Most other factions that can bring them can only bring 3. So he brought the Persian lights instead of the Syrians, and the Syrians are very, very, very good. Well, right next to over here, we've got Kush, and Kush is being commanded by Benny Blanco. Now he's got a pretty standard Kush army, a lot of slave infantry up here. He's got an African ballista, Kushite slave spears, Royal Kushite archers, a lot of those. That's a good archer unit. And then a bunch of armored Chotel warriors, and then his Jin is a Kushite Royal Guard. Then finally, we have Swaby, and Swaby is being brought by Adam Smasher. His Jin is a noble fighter, or a noble rider, sorry. And he's got 2 horse runner, skirmisher cav, a bunch of sword masters. They had to have been playing on ultra funds here. He's got a German heavy onager, and then on his towers, he's got, looks like a bunch of club levy. Yep, bunch of club levy moving up the towers. So we're going to go ahead and hit the start button on this one. Start button. We've already got some artillery being exchanged here. The Swaby artillery is going straight for the Carthaginian ballista, and the Carthaginian ballista is going for these really blobbed up units. So real good shots there by Carthage. That's a good target to go for there. Now, he could also try and go to snipe these guys, but it is a bit of a long shot. But it also does look like Swaby's trying to snipe him. Got Kush moving up with a bunch of, just a couple. 3 of his slave infantry towers are moving up now. And then we got artillery coming in from Pontus. I can't tell if he's trying to go for the tower. Now he's, I think, maybe trying to go over the tower. I'm not sure if he's trying to get into the slaves or what, but he's taking some pretty long shots over there. Now, Seleucid, I think what Seleucid is doing is actually pushing this way instead of pushing the wall here, which is interesting. On this wall, the only place you can land a siege tower is right there. This whole thing you cannot land siege tower on. You can blow a hole in it, that's fine, but you cannot land anything there. So not even, no towers, no ladders, nothing can land on this wall right here. So he's got a lot of towers moving this way, so I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I guess he could be coming back this way, but it's a long trip. And going up that hill with towers is a pain in the butt. Now, I think Galatia is holding on to his ballista ammo. Probably waiting to turn and get really good side shots on the side of Kush here. Swaby's already about to, or siege towers are about to land. And got some archer fire already coming in. And here's the cavalry coming out from the side gate. One of them has been seen. I don't think he notices it, though. The other one has stayed visible, or stayed invisible the whole time. But now they're both visible. I don't think this, yeah, this doesn't count as woods. I think he thought it did, but it does not. Got the club levy and horse runners getting up here. Now, this is going to hurt, be really painful for Swaby. That's a lot of javies waiting to fire on him. And these club levy aren't really going to do too well against the Libyan infantry. And then look at this good Balearic slinger fire coming in right over the heads. Right in there, so well done. And here's this hill is really handy to shoot with, but once the enemy knows you have stuff there, it's very cramped. So that Artie is just can have a heyday up there. But the issue he's got is he has nothing protecting his artillery. And I'm not sure why Carthage isn't just going in and taking this Artie out. You know, he could have prevented an entire volley there. You know, I mean, he's not getting a ton of kills. He's at 27. But he definitely could have prevented some of those kills just by taking it out. As you can see, some of the club levies starting to break. Kush coming in on the Libyan infantry over here from Carthage. Oh, the Artie fire. That's one tough part about this settlement. You really have to get... you have to hold this, and the attackers, they kind of have to have Artie to help push the defenders off of this spot. Because otherwise, there's just... It's so hard to get through this because you're just facing a Pila line, you know what I mean? Now, I don't really get what's happening with Swaby. He just let his entire Artie crew die and has done nothing about it. He's got units here, and now he's... Oh, man, that's rough. That hurts. This guy... So, Atom Smasher, that's unfortunate, man. You know, sometimes you get distracted by other things on the battlefield. You get real into your micro, and you miss things like that, and it can be very painful. Now, somehow a Kush unit got through the line and is actually flanking a Libyan infantry here. We've got some hoplites from Pontus going to come and hit them, you know, double flank them. I'm assuming they probably came through this gap right there. It's the only way I could think that they got behind this line. And then we've got slave infantry going in on the Libyan infantry. Seleucid, I do that all the time. Seleucid did end up, so it looked like he was taking a big push over this way, but he actually ended up turning in with his towers to come hit this wall against Galatia, and Galatia really doesn't have much there. Man, I love the way the Ancient Empires mod makes the units look. They just look so awesome. You know, I love just the difference. Now, we do have some Pontic swords wasting their javies on units that are running away. Left them on fire well, and so they just wasted probably 2 volleys there. Club levy. Those are longbow hunters. I believe they have stalk and snipe. Look at these sword masters. They look awesome, man. So big battle line issue. Swaby does have some units coming up off of this tower, and Pontus is rushing to try and engage them. while the Libyan infantry are trying to reform. Got a club levy here, 159 men coming in, and once again, another gap. We got a gap coming right through here. They could come a couple different ways. Carthage is, or I mean, gosh, yeah, Carthage is trying to come in with a unit and fill in these gaps. Man, Carthage and Seleucid in the same match, like, it's so easy to mess them up. Their flags really are pretty similar if you really think about it. We have a lot of, no, I believe we have some horse runners coming up. Now, I'm not sure why we've got the skirmishers coming up right now, because these skirmishers are getting into combat, into melee combat, and I don't think that's really what you want to do with them. Got Libyan infantry getting ready to go in. They are, I think, are going to go into combat with this club levy right here. A lot of Javies coming in from these club levy. And now we've got a Kushite slave spearman moving up. Still have a ton of archer and slinger fire coming from this hill. I'm not sure what ended up happening with the cavalry. I see some dead horses here and there. But he didn't take them back. So there's some dead horses in here. Okay, so he charged them in, and it looks like they eventually just got overpowered. Now Galatia over here is taking on Seleucid. Galatia's mid-tier infantry is better than the Seleucid infantry. The issue with Galatia is they don't have any high-tier infantry. So on this kind of game where it looks like they're playing on pretty high funds, they really can't bring a whole lot to match things like the Silver Shield swords or the Royal Peltist. And then Seleucid, it looks like, is using formation attack here, and which is not usually a good idea. He's also getting hit in the back, or no, he's kind of shooting his own men here, you know. But yeah, formation attack really is very, very risky to use, because a lot of times what happens is it turns into basically like your unit goes to a weird cockeyed angle, and like only part of the unit will be fighting. So it turns into like only part of the unit's fighting, but the entire unit is losing, is getting getting exhausted, because it is registering that the whole infantry unit is in combat. You know, 3 guys are in combat while 157 are all getting exhausted, if that makes sense. So good hoplite, or a good line here with some hoplites. Libyan infantry holding back the swordmasters. Now, swordmasters are eventually going to cut through this. There's not much. Carthage doesn't really have much here to stop that. And then got some good fire coming in from Kush, hitting into the side of that Libyan infantry. Look at these awesome hoplite. Look at that, like, seafoam green. That's cool. I've never seen that one. General's bodyguard. Big combat here. Got a cool screenshot out of that thing. We got another hoplite unit holding the flank, but once again, swordmaster's coming in, and then look here. Kush has a unit coming up the tower. He can come right here and flank him, because it's going to take a sec for Pontus to get a unit here or here. And I think they're going to start, I think they're abandoning this side, because you can see Pontus has taken his archers, and he is abandoning this hill from the archers. So I think they're going to start getting off of this area, just because they can't deal with the swordmasters. You know, they've got all their Libyan infantry in, but what they need to counter this is like noble fighters, which that's the other issue that the defenders are going to have, is that Carthage is the only defender that can bring a high tier unit. They can bring the noble fighters, but, you know, Galatia only has mid-tier infantry, and Pontus really only has mid-tier infantry, and Pontus's mid-tier infantry it's okay, it's not bad, but it's not the greatest mid-tier infantry, that's for sure. You know, these Shotel warriors, the armored Shotels, they're going to cut through a lot of this stuff. So Carthage, let's see, Iberian swords, that's good, so that is good. So the Iberian swords will be able to use their jabby capabilities to get some really good shots in, especially against these lightly armored Schwabi. These lightly armored Schwabi units, you say. But yeah, these lightly armored Schwabi units over here, the Iberian swords can do quite a bit of damage there, and he did bring up his noble fighters, which, by the way, look so cool with this mod. So he does have some up here getting ready, but once again, they're not quite in combat here. Do we have a Balearic Slinger in combat? Is he out of... He might be out of ammo, I guess? 170 kills with the Balearic Slinger. He might be out of ammo. But they're getting some fantastic shots here. Oh, wait. Alright, so... Kush has brought his Artie real close, and he's going to take down this wall right here. Be another entrance for Kush's army to go into. 80 damage. Yeah, at this distance, he really can't miss. Look at these sword masters. They're just tearing it up, man. 124, 81, 73, 136. But this archer and Iberian swordfire is just getting brutal. Now, Seleucid looks like he's having issues. Galatia has even sallied out his cav. Looks like he brought his cav along out the back area and is getting into Seleucid's archers. That hurts a lot. These Persian light archers are not as heavily armored as the Syrians, so they are not going to take very well. I mean, Syrians don't take very well to cav either, but they take better than the Persian lights do. So he just lost a unit broken here. The best he can hope is that it does not get shattered. Got the Silver Shield pikes. No pikes out on these ones, but he's got his pikes out on these. The red pikes, I might add. They are so cool looking. So his Gen is actually the other Silver Shield pike unit. I personally am not a fan of using a pike general. Like, I understand it can save money, but pikes are also something that I like to use. And it's really risky using them as a pike or using them as your Gen, because then if you put them into combat, you risk losing them, even harder than regular, because, people are already going to target your pikes, but if it's a pike Gen, they're definitely going to target it to get rid of it. Iberian Sword sitting here going to hold back these Shotel warriors while you can see the defenders are falling back. Carthage almost got his Gen caught out. I think he even lost some. Yeah, lost a couple to a Javi volley. Oh no, they're gonna get a noble fighter stuck. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, the Balearic Slingers. That's fine. They're I think they're out of ammo, but he's got a 136-man noble fighter unit that is now stuck here. That's painful. They're completely and totally surrounded, starting to lose men. They are fresh, so I'm kind of surprised he's not using Headhunt to start getting some kills. Oh, wow. Whew. Now what is he, why is sending the Gen in? So he did break one of the units, and is actually going to be able to get his, oh man, I thought he was going to get out, but Kush just cut off the escape route here. And so he's going to put his noble fighters into combat with the Shotel warrior and try and cut his way through it. And I don't really know why Carthage took his Gen and has thrown him in here. Oh man, that is, oh. So we've got the Gen and a noble fighter caught between the Swordmasters and the Shotel warriors. I think the Gen, what is happening here? So I think he got the Gen out. I don't know. That is a mosh pit right there. Like, wow. But that losing that noble fighter is going to hurt. It is doing quite a bit of damage. It's at 148 kills, and I think it's got a headhunt. Yep, it's got a headhunt on it. So he's going to do some damage before he goes down. Look at this fire. The the Galatian Syrian archer fire right into the sides over here. So those Silver Shield pikes are just getting eaten up. Right now, oh no, oh, the oil. Don't walk through it. Please don't walk through it. Please don't walk through it. No, don't do it. If you walk into that, you're going to lose so many men. They basically, I do not believe this has been neutralized, so they're basically walking in, and is it going to happen? Whew. He got super lucky there. I did see some artillery fire, I believe, yep, coming from Seleucid here. Now, I don't know why his RD is set up like this. That's a fixed artillery, so he can't fix it. As the silver shields and looks like maybe 2 units of silver shields. No, one's thorax, one silver. So 59 kills on the silver shields. Got another unit coming on now. A lot of RD fire coming into this area from Galatia, or on Galatia. Now it looks like the defenders are going to readjust their defense to basically here and then here. They need to put something else here, because if Pontus loses this unit, which it looks like it will, the entire back of Galatia's defense is exposed to Kush. Suebe does not have much left, but he does have a lot of sword masters. Now they are all pretty beat up, but I mean they are a good unit. I think the biggest issue they're going to run into here is this hill is going to be very, very hard to. It's going to be hard to hold this area with archers on this hill, which we do have longbow hunters, and I'm kind of surprised there's not more. Where are? So it looks like, okay, the Royal Kushites are getting in right now, and I assume he's going to put. Oh no! All right, so Kush is going to come up here with his artillery, and I'm assuming his archers as well. Oh man, that's going to be painful. So Carthage is doing what they can. He's going to set up with his archers to try and counter onto this hill as much as possible, which you can do if you have a archer superiority. You can hold this area by just keeping the archers out of this. But the combination of the archers and that artillery, that's going to be very painful. That arty is going to have range on everything from this hill. That is game-changing. Yeah, as you can see, like I said, Pontus has that one unit, and now look, Shotel warriors going along the wall, and they're going to come up right behind the unit. And they're going to flank it and break it. So now Galatia's entire backside is exposed to the attackers. They are just going to be completely open to Kush coming right behind and just getting into everything here. That's a big boo-boo, I would say. Like even have another Pontic sword who could have gone and assisted there. But now you're basically going to have to give up this position because you can't hold it. And that's, oof, that hurts. Arty, it's not quite set up, but it's getting there. The archers are trying to counter off. Yeah, like, that's, this entire section of Galatia's army is trapped. Seleucid's got him tied up in combat here. Then Kush is going to come right by. Look at that. Shotel warriors right to the back. Same thing here, right to the back of the Levy Freeman.
Shield yourself!
Oh. Got a couple Pontic swords here trying to hold back one of these Shotel warriors. But it's too late, man. Like, that whole side is now just completely cut off. Now, one thing to keep in mind, Pontus does still have quite a bit of reserves left. And then we do have some Galatian nobles back here from Galatia, obviously. And then we've got the Eastern Archers. Yeah. We'll see what happens, because it's going to be kind of interesting how this goes. I will say losing this, like getting that cut off, is very painful. I think the defenders are going to feel that in the end. They're going to regret not having that infantry in the combat. Now, I think their best hope here is just that Galatia's units over here do as much damage as they possibly can to the attackers. You know, if they're going to die, then they need to get as many kills as possible. Specifically, you know, Seleucid, if they can wipe Seleucid, maybe that would be extremely helpful. And then here again, now Swaby can come in. You can see that the attackers gave up this entire area, and I think mostly because of this right here. But now Swaby is going to be able to come in and once again wrap right around. Now Swaby does need to be careful because these archers will have a very good angle against them. They will be able to shoot into them, especially if they decide to come this way. I notice, I'm kind of surprised a lot of people like to bring deployables, and they may, you know, I'm really surprised that they did not bring any fireballs to put in this area here, because this area is like perfect fireball area. It works almost every time. It's one of the best places I've ever seen on a map to get fantastic fireball usage. Look at the just death and destruction that has happened in these areas. Just look at this. Just the slaughter of, I mean, honestly, of both sides. You can see Galatians and you can see Seleucids here. Got an exhausted Silver Shield coming into the back. Oh, man. So now we got the flank of the Seleucid and the Shotel warriors. Galatian never used his artillery. Why did he not turn this around and shoot back here? You could get so many kills right here. If you don't know it, if you select this unit, if you click it, right, and you have it selected, and you alt-right-click right over here, this artillery piece will turn around and start firing at that spot. It is really handy. Ooh, Galatia got his Syrian archers caught, but he's going to pull them off. We also have the Sacred Band here. Oh, here comes the Seleucid already hitting the back lines of Carthage's archers. Looks like here Pontus is going to take the brunt. But once again, like, they're going to have to get through the Galatians before they can go anywhere. Got a Galatian legionary over here, which honestly is not getting great kills. Shotel warrior going to come in behind the Galatian nobles. Look at them. I'm sorry. Every time I haven't seen all of the factions or units using this mod. So every time I play with a different faction, I see new units, and I'm not going to lie, that is one of my favorites. The Galatian nobles. Holy crap, they look so awesome. Wow, those guys are cool. Sorry, got a little excited there. Oh man, Carthaginian archers coming in on the Silver Shield pikes. They've got 288 kills by now. Wow. So they're doing very, very well. And now we've got the Sacred Band holding back the Swordmasters, which have 230 kills. And then another Swordmaster with 160 kills coming in. Now the Sacred Band is just really racking up kills. You know, they've only been in combat for, you know, probably 30 seconds, and they're up to 22 kills now. Open, here comes... Oh! So more Galatian nobles, but they are just getting hammered by that artillery from the hill. Look at those shots. That's really good arty fire right there. He's up to 129 kills. And that's not a, like, they're not super expensive, but it's also not a cheap unit. I think they're like 900 gold. So they're cheaper than some gens, but they, I'm not a huge fan of the gen snipe, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff, but, like, it is what it is. That's on Carthage for really leaving him there. Man. Still just a big push here. The Sacred Band seems to be holding very well. Not getting a ton of kills anymore, but they are holding. They need to be careful about the grease, but I think that's the Libyan infantry are going to go in and help hold that. But you can see the Galatia is pretty much done. Got a small Galatian legionary unit that's breaking. Yeah, and that's it for Galatia over there. And I think, yeah, Galatia basically just has his gen, another noble, and his archers. So the defenders do have quite a good amount left, but you can definitely see that the balance of power has definitely shifted towards the attackers. How this? Did they put the... Yeah, so they put the pikes into combat. That's going to make it very hard in the Sacred Band to hold this, because they may be a very good holder, But those pikes are basically just going to chew through them. See if we can get another good shot here. So yeah, I mean, Swaby's units are very depleted, but they have done a lot of work. 241, 237, 170, 169. So those Swordmasters have done very, very good work. Are you going to try? Oh, we'll see. So it looks like Pontus is going to send up some units to try and hold the path here, but I'm curious to see, does this already still have ammo, and if it does, it's going to hurt quite a bit on these Pontic swordsmen. More Pontic swords, still have a mercenary noble fighter, Libyan infantry. Libyan infantry with 241 kills. Very well done. I think any player would take that. Sacred Band's only got 48, and then the Cretan Archer's at 135. Yep. Definitely has ammo left, and he is just... Oh, man, that hurts. Now, they're going to go into combat with the Swordmasters. I'm not 100% sure why. The Swordmasters are going to chew right through these Pontic swords, especially with the Arty fire coming in. So we still got some archers here and some archers here from Carthage. They probably have... This guy probably has right about half ammo. This one's probably a little under half. Now, I'm curious if the Carthaginian general actually died. And no, he didn't. This Carthaginian is down to 12 units, and that general is standing right there like, yeah, you didn't hit me. What are you going to do about it? You know, that's ballsy, dude. Now we got the African pikes going to come over. Now, the African pikes are not as good as the Silver Shield pikemen, but the Silver Shield pikemen are down to 54 men, and this is a full pike unit, so they should actually trade very well. Now, the Sacred Band is down to 103. They're trading about even for what they've lost. 60 kills, and they've lost right about 60. But I think they're losing more men to the pikes than anything, because they just can't do much about the pikes. But look at this. The Royal Kushites have pretty much all their ammo. 52, 43 kills, 13 kills. They have so much ammo left, it's ridiculous. Kushite Royal Guard and Noble Riders, sorry. And then we've got some armored Showtails here waiting to go in. Now, we do have more Showtails going into combat over here. This Swordmaster is doing extremely well, but having the Showtail there will help quite a bit. This is a great archer angle here. Look at this. Shooting right over the houses into these enemy units. So, a really good job just shooting into the back lines of Kush so that they can't really support as much. And these longbow hunters really won't do much because they only have 125 range, so they can't reach the Eastern archers. Smart plays. Now the African pikes are in combat now. They've gotten up to 18 kills, and he's pushing them into, they were kind of sitting behind the combat. Now they're in combat. Lots of archer fire coming in from the Kushite Royal Archers. Doing quite the number. These African pikes have lost quite a bit. Seleucid, I think, did the smart move here by pulling his silver shields out so they didn't start losing that. Now Carthage pulled his African pikes back out, but they're just going to get shot in the back. Look at that, down to 59 men, all out of nowhere, just gone. Now I think there's no way the Cretans are out. Really? With 65 kills, you're out of ammo? That's rough. Now, are you out of ammo, or are you moving up to get closer shots? I don't know. Showtail warriors are just chewing through these Pontic swords, taking their time. Like it is taking a little bit to get through them, but they are getting through. And that Swordmaster's up to 218. Now over here, I think is the most, like this place still has infantry over here, but this side over here is getting pretty thin. Especially with these Silver Shield pikes they're a low, you know, they don't have much men left, but they are just eating through this because they're just very good. They're up to 425 kills. Persian light archers running away. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't put one of these silver shields into that combat to help. Especially, you probably could have traded out like one of these sword masters, then put the silver shield in there, and they would probably get through a little quicker just because his sword masters were exhausted while the silver shields aren't. Yeah, these Shotel warriors aren't going to last too long. They're just getting eaten up by archer fire. So the combination of the archer fire and then obviously the combat itself is just going to cause them to lose that combat. But look at that. Just all of the Pontic swords and the sword masters and the Shotels, everything that died in that tiny little spot right there. Now, he moved his arty further up, so I'm going to assume he still has ammunition. And I think this spot right here is about to get hurt really bad. Yep. Oh, no. The arty fire. So, the defenders have now pulled back to hold this choke point and this choke point with kind of a minor defense on this side. But I think he's going to try and get out of there. I don't really see why he doesn't pull back this way, though. Because he's still exposed here. You better hurry, because he's about to get caught. He better hurry, or he better get skinny to get through this without getting caught by the... I think Schwabe's going to try and get use the longbow hunters to catch that unit outside. Oh, nice arty shot. That arty's up to almost 300 kills. They get 302. This is a Bronze Shield Pike. He needs to get these units through. He just needs to move them. Oh, jeez, dude. Using a Syrian archer to hold back the Shotel warrior over here. But, I mean, this is it. This is all the defenders have, is all right back here. Lots of archers. We've got some pikes, couple infantry. We do still have one of the noble fighters left, so that's good. The Eastern archers here look like they're out of ammo. Out of ammo, I bet. And it's tiny. That African pike lived. I don't know how. Then over here we still have these awesome-looking noblemen. Look at them. Like, they are so cool. And then I think the defenders, are completely out of ammo. Oh, hey, the Bronze Shield Pikes have red pikes, too. That's cool. Okay, so this East Archer looks like it still has ammo. Do they have anything else? I don't think so. And I think the arty is out of ammo. Look at that. You broke 310 kills. And then lots of armored Shotels. Oh, that's going to hurt. And those armored Shotels haven't even gone into the combat yet. It looks like they are going to start by pushing here. Got the Pontic swords going into combat with the Thorax swords, which they will do okay. The Pontic swords aren't quite as good as the Thorax, but they're not terrible either. And then we got a lot of abilities being popped. The issue that Seleucid has is he has slightly better units, but they are all very injured. And Kush's archers are just tearing this gen apart. This Bronze Shield Pike is just getting tore up. And all of these, so they have one archer with ammo left. Everything else, well, maybe have one more, 2 archers with ammo left, maybe this Syrian and this Eastern archer. And then, well, okay, so they have archers. They still have archers left. I thought they were all out of ammo, but it looks like there's 3, 2 Eastern archers and 1 Syrian archer. And Pontus is just trying to get his gen out of there without losing him. I don't know if we can find the gen. Probably not. Sometimes they're obvious, sometimes they aren't. He's using a Syrian archer to help hold back the tide here. And now we got the push from the armored Shotels. Once again, got a Syrian archer, basically just acting as a buffer for now, keeping the Shotels back. These noblemen are pretty. This one's pretty hurt, 77 men, and then the Jin is at 132. Then they also do have the Bronze Shield Pike behind here, and one more African Pike from Carthage. Somehow this Jin is still alive, and I would love to know how. I think he's still alive, right? Yep, he's right there. With the, like, leopard skin cloak. I got the mercenary noble fighters using their jabbies in here, but he might be just... he might fall them back, yeah. I think he's going to take them and fall them back, and he might be just falling back anything he can back to the point. And poor Pontus is sacrificing his leftover units to hold back this stuff, as well as a African Pike unit. Sorry about that, hit my mic there. Silver Shield's coming around to flank the Pontic units, Pontic Eastern Archers. But now we've got a really nice side shot coming from the Eastern Archers here. Going right into the armored Shotels. We're just getting tore up, man. That archer fire hurts. Now the issue the defenders have right now is these noblemen are not going to stand up to these armored Shotels. But luckily the defenders still have that Bronze Shield Pike there to kind of push them back. But look how many they killed just for that brief combat. He's got 3 of them, though. 1, 2, 3 units of armored Shotels. He's got his Kushite Royal Guard Jin back here. He's got a bunch of archers, which look like they're getting low on ammo, but I assume they still have some. Now, the noble fighters are going to come in, but I think Kush is just going to use this leftover ammo on the noble fighters. Try and do as much as he can before he runs out, because those noble fighters are extremely dangerous. They're going to hurt. They got a side charge from the Swaby Jin getting into the side of the noble fighters. And then this Pontic Sword is holding as well as he can. The Silver Shield Pike Jin is getting into the combat now, getting into these Pontic units. And now it looks like Carthage is going to try and take his nobles into the archers, but he gets caught. Got caught by the armored Shotels. Now, nobles are a good unit to use against those Shotels. They're not very heavily armored. And that's like the entire bread and butter of armored Shotel warriors. So those noble fighters should do pretty well, except that they're completely surrounded now. And they still have ammo. How do they still, like, they have so many kills and they're still shooting? Oh, that sucks. Man, it sucks being a defender, or, I mean, another player, and watching your enemy's archers just keep firing, keep firing. Got some braking coming here. Got a mutual, 2 different breaks. A break from Carthage and Pontus. Kush took his Jin to charge in, but he charged right into the back of his own men there, so he didn't really get a great charge. But the noble fighters are already gone. Wow, they just got, like, wow, completely annihilated there. But Carthage is going to put his pikes, moving them into the combat. They are extremely weak, though. They're 83 out of 160. Now we've got some archer fire going in on the Kushites. And the armored Shotels are pushing in. I think Pontus should do the same thing that he did previously and just push his pike back into that combat. Push him back in and force those armored Shotels off of that. They are getting very, very low on troops here. Tiny unit. I'm assuming broke and came back from running. Now the Carthaginian pikes are about to get flanked here by the armored Shotels. Going to be completely surrounded. Now he's going to try and get him out of there. Kush kind of missed an opportunity to envelop that unit. Catch him. Yeah, if Kush just keeps him in combat here, he can. Their pikes are not out anymore. So Carthage is just going to rush back for the point. This tiny unit of 50 men, I don't think he's going to get out of there. Yeah. Is he going to get out? Come on, Kush. You're going to push, right? You're going to keep him, right? We'll see. It's a foot race. Looks like the Carthaginians are going to make it. Or are they just going to set up their defense on the tower, maybe? Yeah, I guess they're just going to set up around the tower, get some archer fire from the tower. I mean, Kush is still going to be able to get around it, but yeah, he's adjusting to put his backs to the tower now. He keeps control of the tower for a little bit and helps it where you're not so easily flanked. Oh, Pontus just abandoned Galatia. Instead of pushing his pikes in, Pontus just pulled back. So I think Galatia's going to try and get his nobleman unit out of there. Maybe fill up this last gap, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure this gap can be walked through. So Pontus needs to be very careful. They've got a big gap in their line right now. Pretty close battle. Like, even though the balance power is definitely in the favor of the attackers, it's not like a landslide either. So pretty close. Not a whole lot left on either side. I think the big difference here is just the fact that the defenders have so many armored the attackers have so many armored showtells left. Yeah, and they're about to come flank in on this Galatian noble. They still, like, I don't know why Pontus didn't extend his line. Maybe you can't go through this area. That might be why.
Shield yourself!
And as the noble fights on. Got good archer fire coming in on the armored showtells. Archers 153 kills and 168, so I bet they're almost out of ammo. Readjustment again by the defenders. I'm not sure where they're going. It might just be to use the non-gen unit as much as possible and you take the gen out of the front line. That might be why. Galatian nobles are just holding in. They're just hanging in here. Melee defense right now is a 116. Yeah, but it's about to all go out the window as these units are going to come envelop it, and that's going to be it for the Galatian nobles. And then it's just going to come down to, can the attackers break through the bronze shield pikes, which are a very good pike. There we go. There's the flank. Yeah, and it almost immediately starts wavering. Now here's the Javies from the Shotel warriors. Took down quite a bit. Looks like about 10 men out of that one. I'm guessing the the two archer units are completely out of ammo now. But it is all down to Pontus and Kush with one Swaby gen. Can the attackers pull it off? Or, can the defenders pull it off, I guess is the question. Because, yep, they left the flank completely exposed. Yeah, there you go. I'm thinking that he probably thought that you couldn't go through this area, but the attackers were able to go through and flank it, so he's trying to get his gen to support that and hold that flank if he can. I'm a little worried for the attackers, to be perfectly honest with you. The only way you're breaking through these spikes as the attackers is a flank. So they think they're going to try and come through here if they can. But once again, Pontus is going to put a unit there to try and stop that. But the issue they basically have is they need Javies or they need archers or something to get through this pike unit, and they don't have it. I think this unit used its last archer, or its last javelin toss. So really their best hope right now is to bust through here to flank around that. Because otherwise you're just not getting through these pikes, plain and simple. The gen moved up, I'm assuming just to give abilities. Oh no, now the Kushites are surrounded. So they've got the archers on one side, and the pike actually adjusted to corner these two units in there. But now it's going to be a rear charge by the gen right into the back of the Pontic gen. Good charge by Kush. He probably lost a couple men because he kind of edged into the pikes there. But he got a really good charge on the Pontic Gen. It's going to be very interesting. I really don't know how this is going to go because those pikes are going to be very hard to deal with. The only way you're getting rid of them is, you know, surrounding them. And I think what he's going to do, I think he's going to go put his butt up against one of these walls or one of these houses to prevent them getting around him. Because all he's got to do is pretty much stay kind of in the circle. He probably could have put himself, well, not really. Yeah, he's basically going to try and stay right in this area to help prevent them from getting around him. So with him there, they can neutralize the VP, but they cannot cap it. They cannot fully capture the victory point. Smart move, though. He's going to come over. Kush is going to come over and take this this archer tower. That arrow tower is just going to sit there and eat away at that pike. Smart move by the attackers. Oh, and he tried to adjust his pikes, but he just got caught. This might be it right there because he got his unit is caught out of formation. Nice charge by the Kushite Jin into the flank. And the armored Shotels are trying to get into combat, trying to get around those long spears there. Yep, there we go. We got some wavering going on. Army losses for the defenders. I think that's going to be it. I think that is going to be called an attacker victory, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go look at some kills in replay. So first we've got Mexi with 2,729 kills. Really well done there. 223, 233, 305, 246 with the Libyan infantry. His Cav did okay, 91, so that's pretty good on that one. His archers, for the most part, did well, 193, 144. One pike did really well with 167. And then his Iberian swords did solid. His noble fighters, I bet if you asked him, he probably wishes he got better kills with them. Same thing with the Sacred Band. I think he probably bets that he wishes that he could have got more of that with that. So Ariovistus with 1,960 kills. His Cav did really well, 186 and 150. Archers 124, 174. I'm intrigued. Oh, there it is, 153. I was gonna say I'm intrigued he only brought 2 Syrians, but he's got the third. And then of course his legionaries did pretty well, 175, 134, 143. Then King Green. Pikes unfortunately did not get a lot of kills. You know, one of them really didn't get an opportunity to kill much. Archers did pretty decent, 161, 176, 183. Then his Pontic swords did pretty well as well, 186, 114, 127. All right, as the attackers, the Seleucids, we got Alexander, 225 and 481 with his pikes. 305 on the Silver Shield swords. 2 archers, I believe, were killed by the Galatian Noble Horse. And then his other archers did not get great results. Silver Shields with 218 and 132. Then his thorax swords, most of all, did not do great, but he did have one with 295. Benny Blanco with 3,274. 187 on the Gen. His archers did very well with 197, 132, and 191. And then with the armored Shotels, we have 324, 138, 239. And then his regular Shotels, we got 308, 279, 254, and 255. Very well done. And then finally, Adam Smash with 2,169. Got 131 on his Gen, 45 on the Yardi, and I once again same thing that I said about Mexi. I bet he wishes he got more out of that. Archers didn't do great, but he didn't bring the greatest archers. So now his infantry, look at these swordmasters, 267, 272, 228, 314, and 220. So very, very awesome battle. This one was really close. I didn't really know how it was going to go there in the end. I didn't think the attackers would be able to make it through the those pikes. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, and I would love to see your comments in the comment section. I also want to announce I have set up a Ellington Total War Facebook page. The link will be down in the description alongside my Discord link. So if you guys are interested in joining either of those, I would love to have you along. But thank you so much for joining me. You guys have a wonderful day.